Hey, we're live on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. It's been a couple of days, I think, since we've been last time we went live. But we're live today. It's Friday. It's Fun Friday here on the show. I do have a fortune cookie, and I'm going to share a little bit of activities went in the office earlier this week, and that's kind of why one day wasn't online, and then yesterday it wasn't online either because I had to drive past the 95 debacle, which I could talk about that at some point. And I got the boy off to baseball training or camp or something like that. So I always find it interesting how, and I mentioned this the other day, how we can send our kids to camp to learn more about what they want to play and stuff, but we don't send ourselves to camp to learn about a profession. I think I'll talk about that maybe on the 2-for-1 day when we're trying to 10x our career. So I'll talk about that later on that one. And I meant to do more of the hoarding thing, which I'll do some of that next week because, again, I missed Wednesday and Thursday this week. So 2 days off. So we'll see how the algorithm works when you're not there. I don't know if it really does. But anyway, so today I want to talk about a fun activity you can do. And I want to describe a little bit of what I observed when I went back in the office to do that, just to prepare you all for going in the office and doing and the interaction of people. And also still be able to do something remote. So I got an idea. I got it from a friend of mine who shared that with me years ago. And a little activity that you can do online or at home. But you can also make sure you don't become a hoarder on this one too. So, so this is a 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And here we talk about Scrum and Agile in a very practical and tactical way. So you bring value to the customer, not work crazy hours to get the value, and have a little fun along the way. So the other day on Wednesday, like I said, I went back in the office and we were doing sprint planning and had that, and we had lunch. And one of the things I wanted to do was you always observe what's going on. Is there small groups of people that are talking to each other people not talking to each other? Is the whole group getting to know each other why you're doing the in office thing? If they're not, then I really recommend an organized event. And you may have to speak up a little bit because when we were at the lunch, everyone was kind of talking in their own little groups around the table, but it wasn't interaction around the whole team. So yeah, I had to step in and be a little loud and say, hey, and get everyone's attention. So we did get attention. We did, in this case, we did the fun, what's your next fun thing, which was nice. People known each other for years. They learned things that they never knew about each other when I do this activity. So we did a little, what's your next fun thing? And why I like that activity was I have everyone in the room go around. So everyone participates, everyone talks, everyone shares, and everyone gets a little feedback and they all learn about each other. There's no one gets left out in this activity. So since we already went over that, I want to go over another activity that you could do very similar. And that is where you as Scrum Master, Agile Coach, create little pictures, right? So you go online, grab pictures of people's faces, colors, art, activities, nature. So you make a whole collage of make a lot. So depending how big the team, make like 30 pieces. And the nice thing about this idea, and this is why I say you can do it in the office and room. The idea is you cut this when we were still back in the office, right? You cut out all these images, these pictures, you put them on a table, mix them up a little bit, share them around. And then people just pick like 3 pictures that talk to them, right? So what do these 3 pictures say to them and everything? And the ones you pick out, and you can reuse these pictures again. And this is where they make sure you're not become a hoarder with all this stuff. But you mix them around, they go pick it. And everyone picks, everyone talks. It's nice using the same pictures every once in a while. So people pick different things, but maybe they'll pick the same thing depending on their mood or what they're doing. So you can use that. What's the nice thing about this is these same pictures you put on the table, you could put it on a whiteboard too and do the same process remotely. So you can have everyone sit around the table. You build a little circle table with all your team members on there, and then they all grab a couple pictures and put them near their table, and then you go through on the remote call to see what they are talking about. So you can do this in person and remote. The key is getting everyone in the room to participate, not just a couple people, but this forces function that, and I know it's terrible. We're forcing them. Sometimes you need to do it because they just haven't interacted. And then they go around the room and talk about each picture. So it's something you can do remotely and in person. Why I really think if you go in person, why it's return to work Friday or Fun Friday for return to work, is you really want to build an opportunity. Every time you get the whole group come in, a lot of companies are 1 day a week or 3 days a week. You want to have an interaction activity where everyone there can interact, get to know each other, and not do work stuff, right? Just have a little fun. Maybe they do talk about work. I don't know. But you want a little fun thing where they can bond, get to know each other a little bit, get that connection with each other. And I will say it's much different from when you're live and in person than it is remote. You can see perspectives, people's hand, body motions, all that kind of stuff as it goes along. And you as a Scrum Master have to read the room to see if everyone's interacting or if you see somebody off in the corner. I mean, you never know when that, and you want to get them all interacting with each other. So be observant. Just don't do your own little conversation with people. Go around the room, talk to each other. One of the things I do when I go in the office is I go around everyone's desk and just chat with them a little bit, see how things are going and how things are. And I tell way too many stories. But anyway, so that's the fun thing. So you go, you grab these different pictures, people's faces, nature, museums, things to do, football, basketball, sports, whatever you want to do, knitting, card games, museums, whatever. Lay them out on the table. Everyone picks 3, and they describe what 3 things that they like and why they picked it, right? And then you can do the same thing virtual because you have the images. Now, here's the hoarder part. So when you're done with these pictures, don't throw them out. Put them in a little Ziploc bag and put them somewhere that you have other stuff like you're playing poker cards or something, or make a little Rolodex. I really recommend make a little Rolodex. Go buy one of those card holders, and then you can put it in a nice clean spot where you have other things that we will go over that you can do in person. Maybe have dice, maybe have different things that you can use for interactive tools with the team, right? So that's a good little way of storing it, not become a hoarder and have it everywhere scattered. I know where that is. Put it in a little box so you can retain it. If you don't use the activity in a while, my recommendation after a year, throw it out. Get to the point where you throw out the old pictures, because there might be some new pictures, new things to do after a year. So go through that and get some new pictures. Okay. So that's the idea for having fun in the office, returning to work, and remotely. So it's Fortune Cookie Friday. Let's talk about the fortune cookie a little bit. So I hope you get to use that idea. Let me know. And again, as a Scrum Master and Agile coach, you got to be observant if everyone's interacting. If they're not interacting, you really need to throw in some kind of fun activity that requires everyone to participate, right? Just so they do interact. And it's not optional. All right. So here's the fortune cookie. This is one of those restaurant fortune cookies. We shall see what they have to say. Oh, by the way, fun things. I got plenty of articles that are going to be coming up, and I didn't put any ChatGPT or articles up for Bubbles. They're coming. She's not a non-busy cat. All right. All right. Be generous friend and a fair enemy. Okay. Be a generous friend and a fair enemy. I think this kind of relates to the groups of conversation. You want to be generous to people you know and have a relationship, but I wouldn't say fair like to an enemy, but people you may not know. You want to be fair for them to have an opportunity to chat and share as well. So the idea, the fun activity, we said get pictures, have everyone participate, kind of prevents of you pushing people off to the side, right? And like if it's an enemy, you'll shun them off to the side. You want everyone together. So that activity we just talked about kind of talks about being generous friend, sharing what you have and stuff, and being fair to enemy or fair to people that you may not talk to all the time. So it's a good opportunity to spread that out so people can share. So that's about as good as I can get with that fortune cookie. That was a tough one. But in life, you don't want to be evil to your enemies either. You got to be as fair as you can, right? Even though you're a competition, you want to help them along the way. It always return back to you. All right, with that, have a great day. Enjoy your Friday. We will see you again on Monday. I just started the sprint for our mastermind group this morning. So I got to get in there and start working on some of my mastermind stuff so I can get done for our sprint. With that, take care. See you tomorrow and bye.